The other big issue that I had with Atalanta, again, is more of like a meta thing. It's not that the workout is like wrong, which it isn't. Again, just to make this super clear, the workout is fine. It fits into the CrossFit Games just fine. It's not deadly. It's not dangerous to them. It's not a good idea for us to try that. But the problem that I have with it is that it kind of leaned into a habit that Dave Castro and the games have had in the past that really wasn't there in 2019. And it's a little worrisome. It's something that I think could definitely rear a very ugly head down the line. And along with this idea of like escalating difficulty as your main marker for whether it's a successful or well-established test, like that is something that's going to be a problem 10 years from now, if that's how you're doing it, because 10 years from now, they're going to be doing double Atalanta and triple marathon row, and they're going to have to do, just these ridiculous, long, brutal, unnecessary feats that are just bludgeoning their fitness as opposed to separating the best from everybody with a scalpel. But either way, the other sort of bad habit that I see this Atalanta issue illuminating is that Dave Castro loves to make the games about himself and specifically more about the event than the athletes. And in a way, I get it, because think of it like a UFC match. What makes a UFC card exciting is the fighters. Who really cares like the size of the octagon or how many people show up? It's the fighters. People want to see the top fighters go head to head. They want to see a championship match. And in a way, in CrossFit, it's really like the athletes versus the test, right? It's the CrossFitters versus the test. So in a way, the test needs to have a sense of character. It needs to have a presence. It needs to have a personality. But I don't think that test should ever overshadow the athletes. And when you look at what happened with Atalanta, the way it was presented, the way it was marketed, the way it was built up to, the way it was even talked about on the broadcast was entirely overshadowing the athletes and their performances. It was more about, look what we've been given as a workout. Oh my goodness. And it was all that, as opposed to, wow, this is incredible. The escalation of fitness. Look what they threw at them, and they're just chewing right through it. That's amazing. Look how well these athletes are moving through this. We never would have expected this from them. Instead, it was so much more about like this genius programming, and it's the games are such a perfect example. There's nothing that happened that should have been changed. This is just such it was given to us, a gift from the heavens, as this perfect little piece that all of us are just so lucky to be entertained by for this brief shining moment of competitive fitness. And it's like, all right, we're kind of back to like the propaganda world. We're kind of back to the event overshadows the athletes. And we're kind of back to the show of, look what we can do, and you guys are playing our game, so you're expendable. And I know that sounds really extreme to put it that way, but that's basically where the CrossFit Games were leading. Like, they peaked in 2018 with that exact example of, this is just the excess of what can we make the Dave Castro / CrossFit Games show into. And if you don't agree with that, I urge you to go back and watch the first event of the 2018 CrossFit Games, when Dave Castro, in a highlighter green outfit on a bicycle, is leading the first lap of the crit race because that's what it is. Because it was the CrossFit Games / Dave Castro show. And, one of the things I really liked about 2019 was that was kind of moved to the side, right? The athletes got to shine. It wasn't really about the test so much. The test itself had its own storyline, but the balance between the athletes and their stories versus the test itself was much better. And this year wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, by looking at Atalanta, it kind of projects a worrisome potential into the future. And that's something that we need to be aware of and something we need to understand so that if it turns into the propaganda machine again, we understand that, hey, all right, let's kind of pull back on this, dial it down, and let's ask CrossFit for more of a focus on the athletes and their stories as opposed to what is actually, this test that they're competing in. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see even more clippy goodness, hit one of the links on the screen right now. And if you want to see the video that clip just originated from, link is in the description below. Hope you guys check some more stuff out while you're here. Enjoy. I will see you very, very soon. Take care.